Final urgent notice. Protective public record and legal trigger by Dr. Richard William McLean, Baron Dodger, Canterbury, Sydney, April 2025. Email barondodger@gmail.com. Master Archive www.barondodger.com. Primary legal record. Read. The record will stand. You are now under international legal notice by opening, receiving, or viewing this document. You are legally and morally accountable. This statement activates your duty of care, triggers personal and institutional liability, and places you under international human rights scrutiny. You are hereby instructed to acknowledge and act. To ignore this message is to participate in state-enabled assassination by omission. What this document is the final protective and legal notice issued by Dr. Richard William McLean, Baron Dodger, an internationally documented whistleblower, Australian exile, and target of state surveillance, psychiatric sabotage, gang stalking, and systemic persecution. It is a formal record of a verified assassination attempt acknowledged by an NDIS provider and NSW police V2K surveillance abuse, satellite monitoring, psychological torture, fabricated rape allegations, exposed and admitted by police as consensual forced homelessness, starvation, medication denial, and digital blacklisting, total collapse of institutional protection, legal recourse, and domestic redress legislative framework. You are now legally bound under Public Interest Disclosure Act 2013 CTHNS, W Trustee and Guardian Act 2009, NDIS Act 2013, Crimes Act 1900 NSW, and under international law. UN Convention Against Torture, UNCAT, UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, CRPD, International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, ICPR, Rome Statute, Article 7. Crimes against humanity. All I ever asked for was a safe place to live, enough food to survive my medication, and access to medical care, freedom from harassment, entrapment, surveillance, the right to exist without being erased, and in return, you offered silence, surveillance, and slow erasure. Now you are on record. Stonewalling is intentional complicity. Any attempt to dismiss, delay, or deflect this document is an act of calculated institutional negligence, intentional avoidance of legal and moral responsibility, protection of your own power, funding, and political reputation, avoidance of guilt by pretending not to see. This is not confusion. This is murder by omission. Biblical prophecy and divine judgment. Woe to those who make unjust laws, to deny justice to the oppressed. Isaiah 10:1-2. For nothing is hidden that will not be made manifest. Luke 8:17. The blood of the righteous cries out from the ground. Genesis 4:10. What you do to the least of these, you do unto me. Matthew 25:40. This is not just a legal document. It is a spiritual reckoning. Your silence is now your testimony. Your judgment begins the moment you refuse to act. You are required to acknowledge this notice immediately in writing. Provide immediate access to food, shelter, medical care, and safety. Cease all forms of surveillance, psychological operations, and V2K targeting. Escalate this to legal, ethical, and media oversight immediately. If you do not act, you will be held accountable by the UN, the International Criminal Court, Truth and Reconciliation Commissions, media tribunals, and legal class actions. Your own children and God. Final warning. Help or kill. Then be judged. There is no longer a third option. You are not standing at a crossroads between support or inaction. You are standing between helping a human being survive or allowing their execution through cowardice, negligence, and silence. You will either save my life or become one of the architects of my death. There is no neutrality in the presence of evil. There is no innocence in passive bureaucracy. There is no defense in saying I didn't know when the testimony was delivered to your inbox, your desk, your conscience, and your record. The time to choose has come. You will act or I will fall. And if I fall, you will be named, archived, remembered, and recorded not as someone who tried, but as someone who let it happen. You will be judged by history, the law, your own conscience, and God. What you do to the least of these, you do unto me. Matthew 25:40. This record will outlive me, and your role in it will not be erased. Signed under sovereign duress and divine protection, Dr. Richard William McLean.